around 6 o'clock. Again, we're not getting started until now, but like to do it. Usually like to do a round of what's new, what's good. When I remember. So we're getting a little late start here today. The program is Our Healing Choices. My name's Andrew. I co-facilitate this program with whoever chooses to jump in and share something about the topic or just discuss the topic. Anyway, it's a different health or wellness topic each week, and we either have something to share or we just kick back and learn what we can about the topic that we might be a little rusty on. Anyway, without further ado, we got the topic. Week 126 is how can we make our world better, aka a better place to live, to be. Potential talking points. I've got what's wrong with our world. We got to identify what's wrong to figure out how to fix it, right? And we got communities or people working together. What can we personally do to make our world a better place? It starts with ourselves and what we individually can do, such as here, volunteer, reduce, reuse, recycle, use less paper, drive less, or batch your trips. Conserve water, donate to clean water charities, be generous with time, finances, and resources. Acknowledge homelessness and homeless people, donate blood, donate bone marrow, donate clothing. I just went crazy today. Foster an animal, get involved in local politics, spread the word about causes in your community, donate something to help raise funds for a cause, kindness, mindfulness, offering free hugs, which is what I do regularly, change to a meat-less diet or buy organic. Make your purchases support your values. So yeah, jump on board whenever, but maybe we could just start with what's wrong with our world.
Sorry, what's wrong with our world cannot be fixed.
LOL, Grim. LOL. You could be right.
What could we do to fix it? Move into a new world.
Graham telling it like it is. All right. Move into a new world. All right, you guys, you get on that, all right? It's how many billion light years to the next inhabitable planet? Something like this. I don't know. It's something like many, 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 many lifetimes before you would get there. So, yeah, you'd be more than dead.
Problem fixed.
Racism. There is still racism in our world. Maybe that it may always be that way, but there seems to be a lot of it going on right now.
MP, Mexican power.
Yeah, racism will never change.
Racism based on judgment. We're all judging people, right? We try not to. We know it's probably not right to do it, but we do it, unfortunately. I don't know. Anything else? What's wrong with our world? We got to know what it is before we can even try to fix it, right? Or even recommend anything to fix it. What else is wrong?
Yeah, the racism I agree with, but I think a lot of people are just plain old rude to other people, you know? There's no need to be rude and mean to people at all.
Yes, there is a lot of hostility on this planet.
Yeah, and you know, the hostility and all of that is not cool at all. And matter of fact, I think it does need to change because uh, you know, bad times are coming away our way here in the U.S. anyway. So yeah, I think it's time that we change the way we think and act and be cool to one another and be a helping hand.
I agree. I think some people are just a little hypersensitive. You know, like I don't know. Like last night, there was somebody who keyed up in here and asked this fellow. He says, "Not that it matters, but are you black?" And then every few minutes, this guy would bring it up as if there was some sort of issue with it. And I used all my diplomacy skills to try to smooth it over, but this guy would just keep bringing it up, even 30 minutes later, and I finally had to deal with him. And, you know, if a cop shoots a white person, there's never a racist issue, but if it's a black person, they always make it about race. I'm sorry that both people, or both scenarios I'm talking about here are black. You know, it works with all sorts of races. These are just a couple good examples, that's all. And it's not. I think like people, not just black people, but other people, if that's what they want, what they're talking about, they need to get over it. You know, that's not always the case. Yes, there's a lot of racist people, and yes, there's a lot of people against black people, and it sucks. But it's not always about race. So if it doesn't apply, don't bring it into it. You know, some people need to drop their hypersensitivity to some issues. Just see too much sensitivity sometimes.
Thank you, sweetie, for making me a trusted user. I greatly appreciate it, sweetheart. Yeah, when Ring of Fire first came on, yep, I was the admin in the room. But anyway, I lost my channels, and yours was one of them. I'm glad to be back with you. Yep.
Yeah. Hey folks, we've got Ferocious Kitty in the channel. She says she's been here before. So let's give her a warm welcome and welcome back. Hello, I'm Serenity, in case you haven't met me.
Welcome back. First time meeting you. I'm new here. First time meeting you.
Oh, looks like I blocked her. Okay, I went to trust her, and I guess you beat me to the trust button, and my trust button turned into block. But I swear when I pressed it, it said trust.
Yeah, I trust her, and at the same time, she said thank you, then she was blocked. Are you gonna unblock her?
Yeah, I guess my messages were coming in later than yours. Maybe that's, I don't know, because I still heard her talking and everything. I don't know. Never mind. She's unblocked now.
I'll be back, guys. I'm gonna go eat. I'll be back on the channel soon.
Thank you for unblocking me. I didn't understand why I got blocked because I've never done anything wrong in your channel.
Yeah, I was just explaining what happens if two mods go to trust somebody in. Whoever is trusting in the person second, even if it's like a fraction of a second behind, sometimes that trust button turns into a block button. Even if it doesn't say block, it just turns into a block button. And I thought Zello had worked that out because two mods, me and another mod, trusted somebody in a couple nights ago, and it worked out fine. It said trust. It didn't say trust block, but apparently it's totally not worked out, not completely yet. And you got the bad end of it. Sorry.
I would first like to welcome you into the Ring of Fire. Welcome back, at least. And then I was thinking about this racism thing, about not bringing it into the conversation if it doesn't really pertain. I think a lot of, I don't know what it would be called, but it's like the history. It's like we bring what our ancestors did into, and what happened to our ancestors into the current moment, and we sabotage it sometimes. I feel like that happens more often than not. It happens, and it's like we're bringing this racism thing into situations that don't really require it at all, on both sides of it. So I don't know. I think we can learn from that and just try not to assume that there is no racism whatsoever involved in the conversation or the dispute. And then until something comes up that points to that, do not bring it into that, because we are energy, and it takes two to tango. Anyway, that reminded me of something, and that was definitely hurting it, that whole bringing it in. If it doesn't need to be there, it doesn't need to be there. Don't do it.
Welcome, Ferocious Kitty, to the room.
So what else is wrong? I don't want to ask this too many times, so we can get on with how do we make our world better? But look, what else is wrong with the world? If you were to say there's something wrong with the world, or even your world for that matter, this is like, how do we make our world better? That could start with us. In fact, it probably ought to start with us. So what's wrong with, how can we make our world better? Maybe starts with us. So what else is wrong, either in your world personally or the world at large?
Well, I think this is kind of along the same veins, but I think we need to have more acceptance and tolerance, more patience, more grace.
Well, welcome to the Ring of Fire. And I agree with all you guys are saying. This is a very interesting topic. And welcome, Ferocious Kitty, if you want to keep up and say hello.
Yeah, I agree 100% on that last one. Tolerance, acceptance, patience, and grace. We definitely need more of that. Too many people are simply intolerant of another person's beliefs, and that becomes kind of an aggression, an anger, a hatred of some sort, and that's not what we want in our world. We need less of that and more of love, of kindness, of compassion, that kind of stuff. So for sure.
Oh, I agree, Andrew. So many people do not respect other people's opinion. They're like, this is our world. Like, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and you should respect it. That's why there's certain topics I won't talk about, just because people just want to argue about it.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things we represent in here, is allowing everyone their own point of view, their own opinion. Oh, there's that notification I was talking about. Yeah, without it giving anyone a hard time. You can argue fact, but you can't really argue opinion. It's opinion. Everyone's entitled to it. Everyone has one. So, listen, you might learn something, you might see something a different way, and if you don't agree, fine, just keep that to yourself, and rather than argue or say they're wrong, why not just share your point of view or your opinion? And maybe they'll see things a little differently. Maybe they'll change their opinion somewhat and adopt some of your ideas. That's part of sharing and learning something from each other and teach thing. I think another great thing we could do is random acts of kindness. Yep, just dole them out. Give people kindness, totally unexpected things, or just respect sounds simple enough, but it can be a big thing. Just treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yeah, see, that's why I like this channel, because people are allowed their opinions and nobody gets like scrutinized for it or anything. And random acts of kindness, we need to do more of that. I try to do that a lot because a lot of people just appreciate the stupidest things they appreciate, or the smallest things they appreciate. And it's nice to see somebody smile.
Definitely more smiles would be a good thing. There was a meme thing that I had found today about smiles. How important that could be. If I find it, I'll say it.
Heck yeah, smiles are great. They're contagious. They say a lot without saying a word. And you know, even on Zello, you can feel that smile. I'm smiling right now, and maybe you can hear a little bit of a difference there. But it kind of comes through in not just the tone of your voice, but the things you say when you smile.
I think one of the things that's wrong with the world, there was something, is too many people trying to control, pushing too hard to control and change the things that can't be changed. The things in their life that can't be changed. They're trying to change people. They're trying to change situations, as opposed to yielding and embracing them for what they are, for what is essentially. They're trying to push. I think that's the yin without the yang. I'm not sure, but it's basically too much pushing in and not enough. So there's no balance. Nobody likes a person that's always trying to control others and control situations, unless you're paid to do it. Unless you're like a leadership role at work or something, and that's your job. That's different. But still, nobody really likes those people. So anyway, I think less control and more, I would say, just presence. You know, being present to what is, and then just kind of working with what is versus trying to push so much. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense actually. I don't know. I value everybody's opinion. You know, I like to listen to other people's opinions because, like she said, um, like Cheryl said, you might learn something. I've learned a lot of things from people since I've been on Zello. Things I didn't know, things I was kind of closed-minded to. But I think everybody's closed-minded. I think more people need to open up to more ideas and, I don't know, be more accepting of people. I try to be accepting of everyone because, I don't know, you can meet just a lot of different people if you open up yourself a little more.
Well said, Shannon. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, when people need to be more open-minded, and right then you said that. Um, anyway, welcome again, Kitty. And now that you're on the account, I remember you. Good to have you back.
I figured you'd remember me after a while, but thank you for welcoming me back, sweetie. How you been?
Oh, doing good. Yeah, we're all doing pretty good in here, I think, for the most part. You know, we're all going through life, so I don't think there's any exception to anyone, that we're all having ups and downs.
Yeah, we're all going through our ups and downs. Isn't that a shame? It's a sad thing. But we need to team together and be family, not enemies, you know? there needs to be more love brought into the world. You know how I feel about that, sweetie.
Yep. Well, I'm trying to do my part with this channel. This is my small, excuse me, my small way of making the world a better place.
Yes, the human family, very important. I like that. And yes, Cheryl, you're definitely doing your part. I think when we all do our part individually, whatever that might be for us, whatever works best for us, we're changing the world. Definitely making it a better place. You can't like wave a wand and make everything perfect. You know, in on another side of the world for some other culture necessarily, but you can change you and how you affect the people around you. So it's really important to start with you and what you can do.
I'm not trying to sound like I'm bragging, but I've always been a leader, not a follower in life. And anyway, I've always tried to teach people the better way. Please turn that off. And anyways, you know, there's a better way, and that's what I teach people. If they follow me, they learn the better way of life. And I thank everybody for letting me be the leader of their life in some way, you know, the positive part of their life. That's what I mean about the leader of their life. Being the positive person in their life. Yes, that's important to me.
Yeah, so far we've been talking exclusively about humanity in regards to how to make the world a better place. There are other ways, but if this is all we talked about or mostly talked about, I'd be fine with that. After all, it is the most important topic, and I think, you know, the other changes, it all starts there with humanity, the way people think, the way people perceive things, the way people feel or overfeel or whatever it might be. So just wanted to throw that in there.
I was going to say, I think it all starts with our psychology, because in order to make the world a better place, you need to make yourself better. In order to make yourself better, what is that? That's psychology. There's more to it than that, of course. There's mindfulness, there's, I don't know, forgiveness, you know, but it's those tools that we need to have a level head, so to speak. That itself is like a ripple, you know, because your actions are going to change because of that. And then that's a ripple of love, hopefully, versus hate or anger or fear out into the world. And that's something that could change the world.
Yeah, and just one more thing, if you think about it, the only thing in the world that really needs to change is people. People's the only thing that's wrong with the world. And without people, the world would be fine, right? Nature is in harmony. It's a beautiful thing. We're the ones that corrupt it. So, you know, if we need whales to stop being killed or this pollution or whatever, it starts with the people. It's the people that are doing this.
You know, girl, I am so happy that we got back together again. We used to be so tight, and then I lost your channel, and I never found you again. But anyway, your ideas are right. We've talked about this numerous times before in the past. Will you turn your volume down, Darren, so it's not coming through my ear? But anyway, I gotta let you go, Darren. You want to come in the channel and listen? Darren?
Yeah, I can come into the channel if you want.
Well, thank you, Kitty Cat. And by the way, we're super easy to find. If we're not on the trending list, you can always do a search for us. And I've got my Serenity account. I'll make sure I have you added on that.
Yeah, that's the one I started out on, sweetie. So yeah, could you add me back to there? Send me another invite, because like I said, I lost a lot of my channels and everything. So yeah, if you could do that for me, that would be great.
Yep, just add me back.
We could change it to, instead of how to make the world better, how can we make our world better? How can we make our people better? Because it's the people that are making the world good and bad, like Cheryl said.
Yeah, that's another way to put it, Andrew.
Yes, you're 100% correct. The people, us people. Yeah, we're the one that created this damn mess. We're the ones that have to clean it up. It's just like if my child was to make a mess with his toys. He's got to clean them up afterwards. I don't have a child now, but anyway, you know, my childs have grown up. But anyway, you know, or if you break a glass, you clean it up. The same theory applies in what mankind does to life, you know. Yeah, mankind has destroyed the world.
Yeah, people need to come together as a team to make the world better, not fight against each other. And you know what I mean? You know, it's like one against the other, one against the other. It's like, why not come together as a team and make the world better? I wonder if that'll ever happen. I hope it will.
Well, I'm afraid, sweetheart, that that's not going to happen because you know why? Because the people have gotten so lazy, so spoiled, especially in America. And yeah, they lost their ambitions, their hopes. They lost, you know what they lost, people? They lost their faith. That's what happened to mankind. People have lost their faith, the most important thing in life. And I'm not a Bible thumper, but that's what people have lost. They lost their hope. They lost their faith. They lost.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, a lot of jobs Americans won't do anymore. So they bring people in from other countries to do them. But then I hear people all the time, because you know my job, I'm out on the road all the time delivering. If they would pay enough to make it a living wage, so, you know, if they would pay like housekeepers at a hotel, $15 an hour, then you might keep your people around. They want to pay minimum wage. Who's going to do that? And who wants to work 3 or 4 jobs a day? I hear that all the time on my delivery route, all the time.
I think what comes into play is this, I forget where it came from, but it was like, as within, so without. So garbage in, garbage out. If your mind and your psychology is garbage, then your life and everything around you is garbage. That even includes possibly allowing yourself to live in an unfit city, you know, or environment. You know what I mean? Allowing that to continue and not doing everything in your ability to get away from that. So garbage in, garbage out. I think, you know, the world's going to be a better place when people are better people, and that requires basically just looking at yourself in the mirror and, you know, what do I need to fix about me, and starting there. You know, I think it'll all change when we collectively own up to whatever you want to call it, self-development, you know, self-help, and just getting over it. You know, get over it. It's self-help. It's growth. It's being a better human being.
Exactly. And I have the knowledge and the skill to teach people how to help themselves. And so that's what I've been doing through Zello. Since I've been on Zello, people, you know, I give them the courage to love themselves. I give them, like, okay, I'll give one example, and I probably shouldn't be dropping no names, but everybody, I think, that owns this channel almost, or they've heard of Nurse, for example. Okay, she has.
She's in here, by the way.
That's okay, Nurse. I'm not going to talk bad about you, sweetie. Hello, Nurse. How you doing? Welcome to the room. But anyway, I am sticking up for Nurse tonight because there's many people like her, okay? She is a sweet, kind person. She wouldn't hurt a flea, you know? And every channel she goes into, because she has a handicap, people want her out of the room. Yes, she was in my channel too. And yes, we had to remove her because I talked to her numerous times and I told her, Nurse, let the other moderators do their job too, sweetie. I said, I appreciate all your help, Nurse, but you got to let other moderators do it too, because if they're not doing their job, I'm going to take their star away, you know? Because I demand that my moderators do their job or my admins do their job, you know? That's why they get a star. My channel is starting a new thing that Zello hasn't had since NST, not to mention no names, but we all know that channel. Okay, I'm starting a pay channel. So my best admin or my best moderator of the month, they get not a lot of money. They get a $10 gift certificate, but it's better than nothing. You know, it's a little more incentive to, hey, you know, thank you for the great work you did for my channel. You know, no, not every channel can afford to do that. I'm on Social Security myself, but you know, I'm willing to give that $10 a month to when things get rolling, I might raise it to $20 a month. You know, it depends on how hard people work for my channel. That's what it's about, you know. I guess if you have to pay people now to do their job that you require of them, it's an honor to get a star in someone's channel, don't you think? I do. I feel honored when I get my admin stars. I have over 100 of them in Zello. Yeah, admin stars alone, not to mention all the moderators.
So like I give $10 to $20 to like charity, to feed the hungry over in the poor country. Yeah, I do that. They're starving children. I like to do that kind of thing too.
You're a wonderful man, and God bless you for what you do. You're a caring man. That's a wonderful thing. Yep. You know how many people on Zelle can actually use that little $10 a month? It means a lot to them. When you have no money, $10 is like $100 is. You know what I mean? When you don't have anything to eat, it might feed you a meal. You never know. But anyway, I've met all kinds of people on Zello. I sure have, from all walks of life.
The way I look at it is like if you can't afford a meal, then what are you doing on Zello? And I mean, there's no business return on $10, so you're not going to earn any money revenue from paying an admin to keep a channel open. It's just for personal validation, I guess, to at least to me. And since there's no revenue, I mean, if you can't afford ketchup soup or anything like that, then you probably should like cut yourself short of being on the internet. Limitations. Do what is needed, which is no internet, no cell phone, and just focus on food and getting yourself a paycheck.
Well, you know what I did for last year? I can't remember if it was for Christmas or for the 2-year anniversary in the channel. They fall so close together, but I did a drawing for the moderators and pulled up 2 names with actually an app that randomly picks names, and sent them a couple of gifts out of the names that were pulled. Just a little way of showing appreciation in the channel here. Wish I could give something to everybody, but you know, not that anybody minded. In fact, there were 2 names pulled, and the guy who won the gift card ended up sending it to this gal who won the other item. So she actually got 2. That's our mods for you, just very thoughtful. She and her husband were going through some hard times, and I think he felt she needed it more than himself.
That's love. That's love. It really is. There's all forms of love. You know that, Serenity. Anyway, yes. I'm really glad that Darren brought me to this room, back to this room. Yeah, thank you, sweetheart.
Yep. Well, there's other ways of giving, showing appreciation. Just a word, a sentence is great. People like that. It means a lot to them to give acknowledgement for what they do and show your appreciation. I do that often. I'm sure I could, just like all of us, could do it more often. But I tell all you guys quite often how much I appreciate you and love you. And mods, you're all doing an amazing job. Let me just say it again. Thank you so much for being a part of this channel and keeping the atmosphere what it was intended to be.
I give like $50, $20 gift card contest on my social network, and it's not to the mods or anybody. It's to the users. Anybody who particularly stands out and is an outstanding person. But I'm also making money from user traffic. So there was like, you know, this is us giving back to you kind of thing. And they came up, there was a meme contest, and there was also a user post contest, you know, the most epic user post contest, this kind of things. But there was something, it had nothing to do with the moderators, because the moderators knew that they were not to be included in that, that if you chose to be doing this job, then you're doing it and you're going to do it well, and you need to know that, because yet I have not discontinued you, but you also get to reap in rewards as well along the way. You get your percentage of whatever money that comes out of it. That's just how I run. And Zella for me is just like just a chat room. I can't see throwing money into it just to keep a channel alive. I mean, I even have my own Zello chat rooms, but it would make absolutely no sense if somebody just needed money for food. That would be a different situation. I do charities with St. Jude's Hospital for cancer research for children and stuff, because I was a cancer patient at one time when I was a child. And we also do other charitable.
Anybody else have thoughts on what's wrong with the world, or what's wrong in your own world, so to speak? You can help come up with some more solutions.
We need to come together here and now, the people, and start building our fortress to take against and make people come. We'll go through Zello. I don't care. It's up to you. I'm going to ask you right now, sweetheart, my dear friend from the past until now. You and I are very, very powerful women, and I think, you know, that we can get it through Zello. We can make a fad through Zello to try to make people come together a little bit more and stand together. I think we can make it a fad. You know what I mean? I hope we can. Of course, some we can't bring together with us because they just simply can't understand. But those of us that do understand that it takes several of us, we have to all band together to make it a better place and take away the disgrace. And I don't know.
I think the two-party system in America has got to go. I think it's that time. I think that is a perfect symbol of duality, a perfect symbol of us versus them. And until that goes, this country is not going to know what unity is. It's like the thing that keeps pulling us back into us versus them. You know, wars are fought like that. So it's not good.
Yeah, well, they say it's really not a, excuse me, not really a two-party system. Because you have all the independents, but they never win an election. And I've always thought we should do like they do in some other countries. If you want to run for office, put your name on a ballot, tell everybody what you want to do. You don't need to have a bunch of money to run for office. Hey, this is the way I want to do things. And not have all these negative political commercials fighting back and forth. Just tell everybody what you want to do and hope you win. And you might have 50 names on a ballot, but yeah, we don't need to have all these primaries and all this bullshit. I don't know if I can say that on this channel. I hope I didn't slip up. And, you know, we don't need to have all these different electoral college. That's another thing we need to get rid of. Popular vote. Whoever wins the election wins the election. Yeah, I think that would be a lot better.
Very, very well put. I agree with you. Get rid of the electoral vote. No, everything you said is valid, Darren. I agree with you on all that. And Andrew and Kitty, you guys made some good points. And Nick, yeah, that's great. I did a contest here. It was actually 7 weeks long, and the top 4 winners got some goodies. But when it came time last December to do a drawing, I tried to get some users involved too. I had prizes for them as well, but it was like pulling teeth to get anybody to submit their name. And it was only mods that participated. Otherwise, I would have gladly given some gifts to users as well.
That's what I'm going to do with my channel is, you know, everybody's going to have a chance to win, no matter who. If you've been in the channel, you have a chance to win something, you know. But on the money part, that is my best admin or my best moderator of the month. Yeah, there's only one winner for that. But anyway, yeah, there's going to be gifts coming up for the users and so on and so forth. And at Christmas time, and to the best admin or moderator or the most special.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Planet Earth, and I'm sorry to cut you off. I think Zello cut you off because there was a glitch. But anyways, I like what that one guy said about get rid of the electoral vote and let the popular vote win. I'm 100% behind that.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Somebody is shooting fireworks off. This is August 23rd. This isn't a holiday. I don't know what's going on, but oh, and something I heard something about that about a year ago about giving prizes out. Well, and people don't want to do it because they don't want to give their real name and their address out to somebody, and that's probably what's going on. It's about a year ago I heard someone talking about that, some channel giving prizes out. So that could be one thing.
Hey, if there's nobody there to collect the prize, that's their fault, not mine. You know, that's the way I feel about it, sweetheart. Yep, I sure do, Darren. Yeah, you know what? It's there for the taking. If you don't come and take it, it's not my fault. It's not my moderator's fault. It's not my admin's fault. It's your fault. Whoever didn't come to join, you know? You can't please everybody in this world.
Sorry, Kitty Cat, it's a mic over you, but I think we're getting a little off topic about how we what should I say, award moderators for good behavior. I was just going to comment on this no electoral vote thing. Could that be an amendment to the Constitution? I feel like politics needs to be amended.
Yeah, of course, lawmakers would have to pass that. Have to go through Congress. But yeah, I didn't mean to get off topic. That's just a comment I've heard a couple different times. But yeah, I don't know how that would go through, if they would ever get rid of that, because just because so-and-so wins one state doesn't mean, you know, I don't know how they actually do it, but who cares who wins a state? Just let it go to the public, you know, just let it go to the general vote. And I've heard the reason they don't get rid of it, but I don't see what matters. Just let it go across the country. So many people.
Oh, I didn't mean to carry you. Go ahead and continue.
Yeah, just let everybody in the country. Of course, you got Puerto Rico, you got Guam, you got U.S. Virgin Islands, and you got American Samoa. They all count too, but they're territories. They get to vote in the election too, but just let all the votes count up. Just count all the votes, and whoever wins, wins. I think that would be more fair.
I'd like to introduce a new guest. We have Blade here in the castle. So thanks for your patience, Blade, and reading the rules. Welcome, I'm Serenity. We're doing a discussion program here we do every Tuesday night. See the channel picture, if you can see it for details. You know, we've been talking basically about humanity, people, psychology in order to change the world. How about doing something nice for the animals? If you have a yard, you can make it animal friendly, turn it into a refuge, and it could actually be, your city can call it a sanctuary. It can officially be a sanctuary. Get things that the honeybees like, give them some things to gather some pollen, certain flowers for birds, raccoons or squirrels or whatever, but interesting stuff. Look it up online and turn your backyard into an animal sanctuary.
Yeah, somebody needs to get on top of that honeybee situation very quickly. I mean, I've got a few hives at my house, but I mean, I don't have that much land.
Yeah, clover is really good for honeybees. Yeah, and there's this lady in a St. Louis suburb. I won't mention the name of it, but she had a bunch of milkweed growing. You know, because monarch butterflies, you know, they're caterpillars like milkweed. They were threatening to throw her in jail and all this stuff, but I think she's pretty much got out of it. But yeah, monarch butterflies like the milkweed. The caterpillars do anyway. That's what the caterpillars feed on, is the milkweed. And I think she pretty much got out of it. And they show pictures. She had all these milkweed growing all over her front yard. Neighbors complained about it, but I think once she said what she was doing it for, they pretty much let her off.
Wow, that's great. That's a great story, and it's great that they did let off. And yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I didn't mention the butterflies. Yeah, a lot of creatures that can appreciate the wildlife that you provide for them in even a minimal amount of space. And yes, the honeybees desperately need our help. So providing them with some flowers that they can visit on occasion or on their way to a larger source is very helpful.
I heard that there's something wrong with honeybees. that they're dropping out of the sky, that the numbers are lower, and they are the pollinators for most of the food that we eat. Because if it weren't for them, they wouldn't pollinate some of the edible stuff that I think even the livestock would feed on. So I think they're one of the most critical things for us to fix in the world. So I hear, I don't know if it's still a problem, but I would only imagine it is, because I haven't heard anything otherwise that they've fixed that problem.
And I think a lot of it is the insecticides and pesticides is what it is. So I don't know, but yeah, clover, people just grow a lot of clover. Down here in Missouri where I live, they got clover honey. There's actually people that grow a lot of clover on their property, and honeybees love that. And that's a big thing around here. They're trying to get the hives back. That they got to keep the insecticides and pesticides away, or else it's going to keep getting worse.
You're right, White Lightning, about that. Yeah, here in Michigan, we used to have so much clover that grew in our yards, and that's even becoming a thing of the past. There was clover all over the yards. Yeah, because the honeybees aren't around to spread it around, And the honeybee, I heard something, I think, about the African bee has something to do with taking the honeybee out. I've heard that in the past. I've seen it on TV.
No, the Africanized bee is a honeybee. But what it does, you disturb its hive, you're going to have 1,000 of them coming after you and stinging the hell out of you. So it's the same bee, but a hybrid version. Because somebody had their head up there behind and let them out. And guess what?
It caused something very aggressive. They will sting you until no end.
My mom was stung last year 40 times. And she's supposed to carry the pin, I forget what you call it right now, but you know what I'm talking about, where you give yourself a shot when you get stung. Well, anyway, it went from $40 last year for that medicine to almost $700 this year. We, the people, too, also need to do something with the cost of medicine. They sell our same shit overseas for $2. No holla.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's the EpiPen. They were talking about that on the radio today, the EpiPen, epinephrine. And yeah, you can get it on the internet. You can get them as long as you got a doctor's prescription. You can get them from Canada. You can get them from through a Canadian pharmacy online and have it shipped to you. And just hope it's what the same standards as what they have here.
That's the problem when you're dealing. I know about medicines, okay, man-made medicines, because I take a lot of them and I have for many years, and plus I am a retired nurse as well. And anyway, yeah, it's unreal what they charge us right here where they make the medicine. They charge us ungodly dollars, and they sell a $800 prescription here. They sell it overseas for $2. $2. Now, how is that fair? Why should we pay for the world's medicine? Okay? Because we are paying for the world's medicine, but us, the American.
Oh, sorry to cut you off. My bad. They sell it for $2 and we sell ours for $700. There's got to be a big difference. It's like buying a $2 pair of shoes and a $100 pair of shoes. So that medicine that we're paying $700 for, they must have had studies done for 10 years and had patients that had those problems come in and take that medication, and that's why it costs so much. I wouldn't trust paying $2 to a pharmaceutical company in Canada compared to $700 for a pharmaceutical company in the United States. I mean, in a way, you're outsourcing your own money and making them richer, and you're.
You misunderstood me, sweetheart. I said, and I'll say it again, here in the United States, they sell our medicine to us for $700. They take our medicine that we have to take.
Hey, I'm sorry to cut you off. I haven't been able to get a mic, and I wanted to say, first off, try to keep your messages short, 40 seconds if possible, no more than a minute. I think we're getting a little off topic. Yes, something needs to be done about the medicine. More expensive doesn't necessarily mean better, and I think that might be one of the points that Kitty was trying to get to. But to answer your question from nearly 10 minutes ago, Andrew, yes, there still is a big problem with the honeybees. It's bigger and bigger. It's an extremely important thing because the human race depends on it. There you go, in a nutshell. The pollination that the honeybee.
Yeah, I had some seeds I was going to bring back, but because I was in Canada, they sell clover seeds up there. I'm sure we can get them here too. But coming through customs, luckily I went through customs coming back to the States. They didn't ask me about anything I had, believe it or not. I could have brought some back and planted them, but I live in a condo complex, so our landscapers would just kill everything off anyway. But yeah, if you live in a rural area, you could just plant that stuff all over the place. Oh, and the reason.
Why Lightning? Why don't you just start up your own miniature hive? I mean, I know you live in a condominium and everything, but I think you can still start a small hive as long as there's no people that are like allergic to bees or anything living in the condominium.
Like the only way we're going to get over this honeybee issue is if we all do something. Not just a few people like White Lightning creating a honey, like a hive or whatever, what you call that, becoming a beekeeper. I was going to flip back to this pharmaceutical issue. And I think one of the things that is wrong with the world is our dependence on pharmaceutical drugs. I think when we are in the fear that if we don't take a certain drug, that we're not going to get better, and that if we don't take that drug and continue to take that drug for the rest of our life, we won't be healed of our situation. We're bound to that drug forever. And I think it comes down to us. We create a demand or a shortage based on our choice to buy these pharmaceutical drugs. If we weren't buying the pharmaceutical drugs, then the pharmaceutical companies wouldn't make them and charge more for them. So it really comes down, I think, to make it better, make the world a better place in regards to that, is you really got to encourage people to find the solution outside of drugs, meaning holistic medicine. And some of it works really, really well, especially in the area of cancer. So I mean, there's so much about it, books and books and books about medicine, holistic medicine being better than pharmaceutical drugs. So I think it's individual choices we make about the drugs that we put in our bodies, and supplementing those or removing those with a holistic treatment, something we do every day, could change a lot of things positively.
Yeah, well, about the honeybee thing, if I started a hive here and some kid got stung, guess what? If they had an allergic reaction and had to go to the hospital, old Brown and Crouppen and all those guys would be all over me like a swarm of bees. And the reason why we pay so much for our drugs, our companies do all the research, so we got to pay for the research. That's what it is. Yeah, there's a couple hospitals I deliver to and deliver to the pharmacies, and we get stuck with it because we're paying for the research.
Again, you misunderstood. I said that they charge me, okay? And about taking your medicine or not, sir, have you ever felt every day like you've been run over by a steamroller? Have you ever lived in that kind of pain? Yes, natural medicine, holistic medicine is the best way, for sure. But do you know what they charge for it nowadays? Oh, the prices of that is scouring out of control. Yes, not everybody can afford it.
Yeah, didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, the reason why we have to pay such high prices here, because all of our pharmaceutical companies are located here. So we're paying for all the research. These other countries aren't. So we get screwed. These other countries don't.
We just need to focus all of our efforts into genetically modifying bees so they're about the size of horses, and we can completely get rid of the gases that cars are emitting and fix the bee problem. Because I don't know about y'all, but I ain't gonna go mess with a damn bee that's the size of a horse.
Me either. And peace and love to all of you. I've enjoyed talking to you tonight. But I'm going to hop out of here, and peace and love and tranquility to all of you. Good night.
Oh, I got the mic. All right. Well, good night, Kitty. Maybe we can cut down on the cutting each other off, but try to limit your mic up time. And yeah, there is research. There's sometimes millions and millions and millions of dollars going into research for these things. So the first few years, they need to recoup that before their patent goes where people can make generics. Companies can make generics. They have so much time. But there's also some highway robbery going on, some capitalism at its worst with these medicines. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that for now.
Hey everyone, what's happening?
I'd just like to share a meme that I found. This one's by L.R. Nost, K-N-O-S-T. It says, "It's not our job to toughen our children up to face a cruel and heartless world. It's our job to raise children who will make the world a little less cruel and heartless."
Yeah, we need to do that for sure.
I was watching a video the other day. I mean, y'all are talking about the expenses of medicine and everything, but I was watching a video the other day on the most expensive liquids in the world, and the number one was scorpion venom, where they try to make they make a painkiller is 10 times as strong as morphine. I think it was like $300,000 per gallon or something.
Yeah, normally you would use scorpion venom as an antivenom. Of course, I guess you have to modify it somehow because, you get Arizona, New Mexico, in that part of the country where people have scorpions coming in their houses. You get stung, well, then you need the antivenom.
Yeah, you can go out there in the desert, take your boots off, and go put it on. You got a damn scorpion in your boot, stay right in the toe.
Oh, it's pretty wild. All that venom stuff they're working on. Anyway, I'm gonna since I have the mic, I'm gonna talk to some untrusted users here. They keep keying up right now while I'm speaking, so they don't think they're gonna hear me. Hold on. Don't take the mic. All right. If anyone would like to be trusted into the channel, if you'd like to be trusted into the channel, please read the channel rules. You can find them by clicking on the picture below the Z and scrolling down. Read through them, let us know that you've read them and you're willing to follow them. If you cannot see the rules, they are also on this profile that I'm talking on. As far as the beads, there's a lot of different theories, and it may very well be a combination of at least two of those theories. If anyone's interested in that, check it out. But more genetically modified, not going to solve a problem. In fact, genetically modified foods may be the source, the biggest source, or one of the sources of the problem. Right here, Mother Nature needs to be not messed with. Can't mess with that.
Well, I mean, that's the whole purpose of it. If you genetically modify a damn bee, so it's like the size of a horse, ain't nobody gonna go mess with that bee. They're gonna start pollinating, and you hear a damn bzzz that shakes the damn ground. You ain't gonna go over there. You're gonna be like, hell no. Imagine the hives. They're gonna start building hives on skyscrapers and.
We don't need any more Franken bees. Anyway, yeah, let us know you've read the rules and you'll follow them. Tell us a couple rules so we know that you've read them. Thank you. Remember, it's 17 plus, drama-free, troll-free channel.
Yeah, for sure. The bees, it's not about people messing with bees. It's about people messing with the environment that the bees are in, aka pesticides and stuff that make them die before they're supposed to die. In which case they don't live to pollinate. So you get lower and lower numbers of bees and less pollination and less plant life and food and whatever, even that we eat and that animals eat that we eat. So it's mess, and it needs to be fixed from the source, which is us, more than likely. Here's a quote. It's by Jane Goodall. She says, "We have the choice to use the gift of our life to make the world a better place, or not to bother."
Yeah, like I said, if you kill off all their food, all their the plants they pollinate, that's how they make their honey to live throughout the winter. They're in their hives all winter long. That's what that honey's for. That's how they make it through the wintertime. If they can't make enough to live through the wintertime, it's going to kill them off. Yeah, there's a guy at a farmer's market that I go to, and he always brought a beehive into the farmer's market. And that's what's going on. They need that honey to make it through the winter.
Oh, there's another quote. I don't remember what it was. I think it was just a meme, but it was saying that we're not destroying Earth. We're not destroying Mother Nature. Mother Nature has been through far worse than what we put into it. We're just making it uninhabitable for ourselves, to the point eventually where we're just going to die off, and there's going to be further species that come along after us that are going to thrive.
Well, even other species need honeybees to help make food grow, unless they're living in the ocean. And they've got a very delicate ecosystem there. Food chain that everything's dependent on the other. But anyway, yeah, for those who may be joining us here later on, since we're doing our Tuesday night program, tonight's topic is how we can make the world a better place. So if you have any ideas yourself, please do share. We can talk about this topic more or anything that we've discussed already, but preferably to share something new.
Okay, I hope nobody is offended by this, but how do you guys feel about the idea of culling the herd of the human race? Because honestly, I think we're far too overpopulated.
That's why we have wars to unpopulate the world. Yep, we are definitely overpopulated, no doubt. I popped back into the channel, but anyhow, we're definitely overpopulated.
Well, why would you say that we're overpopulated? Most people are going to say resources. We don't have enough resources. If that's your answer, that's wrong. We have enough resources. Sometimes we might have an issue getting resources to those who need it, but yeah, there's some stressors put on the environment, but we do have enough resources. And you know, if you really got an answer for that, it's genuine, go for it. But if we were to cull the herd, so to speak, where would you start? What people would you cull?
It's called sex education, especially for third world country women. At least that's, as far as I'm aware, that's where the biggest problem lies, is women who aren't educated to the biological everything, you know, and also in those third world countries, some of them, maybe most of them, the men are overbearing on the women, so to speak. So the women, some of the women feel disempowered, and so once you educate women, I think it was even just simply educating women, focusing on that and the sex education as well, then that problem would not go away, but it'll at least be subsided. And Cheryl's right. We have plenty of resources to feed everyone. It's just we're putting our money in the wrong places in the world.
White Lightning, I'll call you on your home phone.
Oh, they tried that in China, and that didn't work out too well. I think they pretty much relaxed their one-kid limit. Because, you know, if somebody wants to do their thing, you can't stop them. So I don't know.
Well, I agree there's enough resources to go around, but I feel like I agree with you, there needs to be more education, but I don't think it should be placed fully on the women. I think it should fall on both genders. I mean, because the men are just as, you know, responsible for the actions women are, but furthermore, with the damn it, I lost my thought. I'll just
Oh crap. Sorry. Well, you lost your thought anyway. Grab the mic when you got it. Andrew, I totally agree with you. But you're right, Kuhn. It's not just one gender. It takes two to tango. Yes, sex education is important, but it takes both. You know, stop the abuse and rape of women. Use some condoms and some common sense, some abstination. You know, do some family planning. Don't bring a child into this world if they can't afford it. And think about, like, you know, you got 2 kids already? Isn't that enough? You know, kind of that attitude. Yeah, it definitely needs to be some more responsibility there. Instead of killing off people, just don't bring as many people into the world. Somebody doesn't need 5, 6 kids in a family. It's ridiculous. Come on, Mormons, Catholics, Hispanics, come on. We don't need that many kids.
Yeah, I know where I live, or the county where I live, they hand out free condoms and STD clinic. They have an STD clinic and they have all this stuff. It's like, well, if you do what you're supposed to in the first place, you wouldn't need, the free condoms, that's a pretty good deal. I don't know how many you get, but the STD thing, oh, I did this with somebody one night. I need your services. Wouldn't it be best just to, you know, abstain, just like you say, abstain, just don't do it.
We all need to practice what we preach to each other. But anyway, yeah, don't go out there and do it with just any old buddy. Wait till you find somebody you actually love and they love you. You know, that way, there's too many mothers out there having children by men that they don't even remember their names 2 years later. You know, that's a sad part of the world.
or men who didn't care to have children in the first place and who walk away from the responsibility, which apparently happens a lot as well.
When I said killing the herd, I didn't mean like killing off people. I know that's what you initially think of when you think of culling, but I was thinking more of like people that, you know, they have a certain amount of kids. At that certain time, you know, I think there needs to be something in place where you have another kid, you're going to face, I don't know, like a higher tax bracket or something, you know, or you go get fixed. I don't know. I feel like I walked into an after school special in here.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it would get this far off topic, but excuse me, this far off the topic, but I forget what country it was. Damn, I'm on the road all the day. I listen to different radio stations all throughout the day on my phone. And there's some countries that if they want to cut the population down, they'll cut. I mean, if it's a boy, they'll fix him at birth. They do that too, and it's like I never heard of that before. That's something new.
Yeah, that's cruel. And Kuhn, yeah, well said. Kitty, I agree with you. But yeah, I mean, if someone's going to come up with something, it's got to be humane. It can't be cruel. China's idea, they might have thought that was going to work, but look what it did. It ended up with a lot of orphan girls and a major imbalance too of more men seeking brides and all that. Not a good idea. But people need to be more responsible. You know, if they want 2 kids, all right, but you know, it's like take a break. You know, take a pill, whatever they got to do after that.
Oh, damn it! Didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, they're talking about, you know, adopting children. AdoptUsKids.org. A bunch of kids in these states need to be adopted here in the U.S., but yet people adopt all these kids from other countries. It's like there's a bunch of kids here in the states that need to be adopted. They're in foster homes. Well, why adopt kids from other countries when we got plenty here that need adoptions? That's another thing I hear about.
Shit. Kind of lost my train of thought. You wait for the mic, and then by the time you get the mic, you don't even remember what you were going to say. I like that. Actually, I remember the tax idea of taxing people more. The more kids they bring into this world. The reality of it is that at a certain point, a family isn't going to necessarily be able to support extra children, especially if they take a toll on the system, meaning they fall into welfare, social security, blah, blah, blah. So I think to discourage having more children, not only should you be thinking about that anyway, but to discourage it, I think having more children puts you in a higher tax bracket. Maybe not each time, but maybe after 2, like Cheryl said, you have to think about it twice because you're going to be in a higher tax bracket because of it. So between that and just simple education, and then on top of that, for of course, third world countries, just a simple education and more sex education, especially for women, because they need to feel like they have a say in the matter, and again, you're right, in third world countries, men also need to be educated to not, I don't know, to not be that way and to respect women, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, education and responsibility, I think, are the 2 most important things in that regard. Oh crap, I was going to comment on something Darren said. Shoot, now I've forgotten. And it's hard to get the mic. I've got it now, but oh well. Somebody take it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. White Lightning, they got those clinics around here like you were talking about earlier, but I think they give you like 10 condoms when you go there, and they don't, I mean, you can get give him a donation or whatever if you want to. But like I got a coworker, he knowingly, well, he didn't know at the time, but he knows now that he had a girl, or he had sex with a girl that had herpes, and he refuses to go get checked to see if he has it. And I'm like, you're just gonna go around spreading it? He's like, I don't want to know. I'm like, you're stupid, bud. But have y'all seen the anti-rape condoms that they have over in some of the countries?
Yeah, that's totally irresponsible of that guy. Now I remember, yeah, Darren, like George Carlin says, not in my backyard. I think maybe the American people, some of them refuse to see that we have issues here too, including children that need homes, and they're thinking of these other countries first. Like all the bad stuff happens there, all the homeless children and orphans are there, instead of looking in their own backyard and dealing with the issue and helping out here. Anyway, we'll have the mic. If you're interested and you'd like to join the channel, please read the channel rules, then mic it up if you can. I know it's busy here. Let us know you've read the rules and you're willing to follow them. As an alternative, go to Zellocom group, key up over there, let us know you're in the channel, you've read the rules here and you're willing to follow them, and then I'll come back over here, I'll hear you there, and I'll trust you over here.
Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to cut you off, but no, the clinic, well, it's not free. You get your free condoms, but the STD, some counties do free clinics, some don't. I don't think our county does it free, but excuse me, but they actually do. I don't know how many you get, but yeah, they do different STD tests. You got to do all that. You can go through that, and it goes through this. Actually, it goes through the state. You go to the county health department, and they send it through to the state. And about the adoptions and all that stuff, why can't people adopt kids here from the States? Why go through the process of going through a different country, having to get a passport?
I'm probably going to go smoke some marijuana because my back is hurting.
Oh, you must be from Michigan. Let me see. Well, I don't know what state you're from. I didn't your picture. I know somebody in Michigan does that, but yeah, why not adopt kids here in the U.S.? People pay all this money, fly overseas, have to go through passports, immigration, all that crap, spend tens of thousands of dollars to adopt some kid from overseas, when there's kids here that need to be adopted.
Hello, my name is Jeff, and I'm untrusted and would like to be a trusted user. Okay, I'm just fucking with y'all. Messing with y'all. Serenity, you missed a good conversation earlier.
Speaking of the U.S. guys in our country, y'all missed out on a really good conversation earlier about the internet, about how the U.S. is planning on this year signing over the internet to the United Nations, and we're pretty much going to be monitored, and yeah, we won't have freedom of speech on the internet anymore, pretty much.
I don't know. I think with the people that are adopting kids from other countries, well, I don't want to say all of them, but I know with all the celebrities and everything, it's almost just like a photo op, or they're trying to get publicity from it. Whether or not they love the child, I'm not going to go into that or not, but I think that's why a lot of them do it. They just do it because it'll get them positive attention, especially if they've been doing some things that the world looks down on. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Bieber went and adopted him a little kid from some other country,
Well, another thing is, some people don't mind being foster parents because you can get some free money from the government, if you do it the right way.
Yeah. I've had bad experiences with the foster parent. Not that I was in foster care, but I know a family. They were it's a foster home, and the man that was there, he's a sex offender, or he turned out to be. So I wouldn't send my child off to a foster home. That's just bad experience, you know.
Yeah, I just trusted in T. Sam. Welcome, Sam. I hope your name is. Welcome to the channel. I'm Serenity.
And Serenity is the bestest.
Thank you, Serenity. I'm sorry for cutting you off, bro. Thank you, Serenity. How are you doing today?
Oh, we're all good. Yep. Anyway, we're doing a program. It's a discussion tonight. We're talking about how to make the world a better place. And hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh. Welcome back. Untrusted user, Josh. Good one. You had me going for a second there. I'm like, really? He doesn't know that he's trusted? Anyway, I was going to read this quote before we move on. This one's by Nelson Mandela. Many of you guys have heard of him at least. He says, "The world remains beset by so much suffering, poverty, and deprivation. It is in our hands to make of our world a better one for all, especially the poor, vulnerable, and marginalized." Marginalized meaning people that society is pooping on, so to speak, in one way or another. So help out your brothers and sisters, you know? We're all in this together. We're all human. And I was going to say, maybe we could think of some other things that are maybe wrong with the world so we can figure out how to make it better. Or just mention something, some way you're making it better.
If I'm not mistaken, Mandela was the South African president, correct? That's the one that was put in prison over there in South Africa, and then he later died after he was mistreated over there.
Concerning culling of the human race, I think I found who we can start with, and I think it begins with sexual predators and child molesters.
I don't even know where to start. I don't know what you would tackle first, because I mean, there's a lot of messed up stuff out there.
I'll throw one out there. Television news networks making horrible decisions about what to show us on TV.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, I totally agree with the whole news outlet thing. I think they should go through a system, where all their sources that they use on the news is validated by a lot of different sources before they can even say anything on television.
I just say we all vote for Trump. That's just my opinion.
One of these things that I've noticed in recent times is whenever there's like a bombing or something bad happening somewhere in the world that's violent, there tends to be a lot more violence after that, and when that subsides, it tends to subside. You feel me? So my thing that I've been noticing and kind of pushing for in my own life is this idea of networks refusing and stopping televising violence. Meaning, if we don't see it happening in our world, yes, given it's going to happen here and there, but the more we see it happening, the more people are going to feel hopeless versus not seeing it and seeing positive things where people feel positive and hopeful about the world. So what's more likely to happen? You're going to kill yourself and bring a bunch of people down with you if you feel hopeless because of all the shit that you're seeing on the news around the world and the negativity, or if you feel positive and happy and see that positive things are happening. Hello. So like I think we got to realize how showing violence on TV is affecting the population, and bringing us into a downward spiral.
Yeah, what about all that Ferguson, Missouri stuff? You remember when that happened a couple of years ago? They kept showing it and showing it. And then people came in from the outside. More people came in from other areas and kept it going and kept it going and kept it going.
I think something that is very positive that people could do, start living off the land again. I don't know if y'all noticed this, but the economy we have now, you're either poor or you're rich, and I don't think you're the 5% that is rich. So, yeah, I see a crash happening sooner than later. So the better, like if the sooner you start living off the land, the better off you'll be if the market crashes.
Very good point, Joshua. We're basically pulling ourselves off the grid in that way. I see a future where people basically live off the land in small, like tiny mobile homes, where just coming to me right now, there's a huge plot of land that's very fertile and grows enough food and vegetables for everyone, and each person has a small little area where they can park their tiny home, and which means that that plot of land, everyone is able to move on and off of that plot of land and just owns a small parcel with their own crop, little section of crop that they grow. And then, everybody has a community area where they can sleep and shower, not sleep, I should say shower and commune, so to speak, maybe share some food, share a meal. I totally see that happening someday. If it doesn't happen, I see myself doing it, creating it.
Yeah, that would be nice actually. Even if you're renting a piece of property or whatever, and or buying a piece of property enough to hold a majority, a good bit of people, and y'all all pitch in with doing, gardening and upkeep on the property. I don't see why it couldn't be a very positive thing for people to go, a place for people to go and live and actually make things affordable for people. Because if you think about it, the government really has no say in, who, pitches a tent up on that piece of property if you own it. You know what I'm saying? So they really have no say so. And y'all can all, kind of like pitch in and take turns doing, yard work or whatever it may be, however you decide to grow crops or other, produce or whatever.
So there's a lot of that going on here in Oregon. Actually, there's like tons of intentional communities where people are living, and it's like a co-op. You're kind of living together. You work the land together. You all bring whatever skills you have as a community. There's a lot of that going on over here in Oregon right now.
I'm moving to Oregon right now. I'll be there, and I don't know when.
Hey, Matchstick, I'm curious where we're at in Portland. I'm sorry, we're at in Oregon. Was that Portland? These co-ops? Because I'm thinking about moving up there too myself. I gotta get me a trailer for my car, and I gotta get me a tiny home, and I gotta find one of these co-ops that has a shower, and I gotta pay them to be there. Literally, like I so want to do that.
By the way, hello, Molly. Welcome. I'm Serenity. Good to have you here. Everybody, new guest alert.
Hello there, Molly.
Yeah, Molly got snuck in under the radar a little bit there. So yeah, welcome, Molly. You're gonna like it here. I don't know if you heard anything about the channel, but a lot of real good people here.
Yeah, so yeah, I've been following you guys. I know what it's all about. But if you add me on Facebook, actually I can't remember the name, but there's a website that has like all of the intentional communities here in Oregon and I think across the United States. I mean, there's tons of them, but I have it saved on my link. So if you add me on Facebook, I definitely will send that to you because that's something I want to do as well.
Cool. I'll send you a call alert and we can swap info. That's awesome. I think it's called ic.org, like intentionalcommunity.org. Pretty sure. I've looked it up before. A lot of the intentional communities had already been formed and they were already like full, the ones that I wanted to go to. But don't know if I had looked for one in Portland. So anyway, I just think it's a really cool idea. I think at some point that would be awesome to own some land and basically put a community building on it if it didn't already exist, like a residence, if it's a 3-bedroom 2-bath, whatever it might be, they would have like a community space with a shower or two, and then a good amount of land to actually grow some crop and or have some mobile tiny homes on it, whatever kind of home that looks like. It could be a regular RV, a trailer, camper trailer, all kinds of stuff could work for that, I guess.
Not only could you imagine how positive that would be just in a financial standpoint, but also in a creativity type of way, because you have a variety of people in the same premises that you could collaborate with and like do different things, whether it be music, technology, whatever. It's like an endless amount of things you could do creativity wise. Even
In a community like that, what about laundry facilities? Would there be a laundry room or somewhere to do laundry? That's another thing.
I think it's ideal. I mean, yeah, you'd have shower, laundry, kitchen, community space for like watching TV, kind of a lounge area, whatever. All of what would normally be in a regular like 2-bedroom 2-bath house or 3-bedroom 2-bath house, whatever, would be there essentially for the community space. So you have your community space with people, to commune with people, to just hang with people when you need that or need people to talk to or whatever. But then when you want your private space, you can just go to your little camper trailer or your little tiny home or whatever it might be. You're basically going to your room, but you get to go through nature. You get to go through all of that like really good food, whatever, flowers, something nice. I've seen some that have like little bridges and streams, man-made, but like, cool little streams going through them, fountains, all kinds of stuff. Like I've seen them. I've seen how it can work. It's just, it's really just a different way to live. I think we all need community. I think when we, hole ourselves up in a studio apartment necessarily, and we don't talk to our neighbors in an apartment building or something like this, and it just, life becomes kind of cold and not as warm and cozy and friendly. This affords you to both have your privacy and have your community all in a short distance. So a bigger community obviously would be better, but a community in general would be great. Something like that is cool. So I'm definitely gravitating towards that. I think that's my next step, I think.
That sounds like a pretty good idea to me.
what's nice about it, I mean, it's unfortunate that it's unfortunate and fortunate at the same time how over in South Africa, that's how a lot of people are living because they can't afford to live a normal life where they have their own house and they have their own utilities and all that. A lot of them have to live on one property with, you know, like these really rundown looking buildings, and you know, they all have to share the same hot water heater, so they only have so much you know, hot water.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, it's like a concentration camp over there, or like assisted living from where I'm from. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was just gonna say though, it's unfortunate in that standpoint, but they're a group. Everybody that stays in them place, they welcome people going in and out. But they, I mean, it's just people trying to get by, you know, because not everybody can get jobs over there. But at least in our circumstance, we're able to get jobs. So I think it would be a more positive thing here than over there.
Oh, no doubt, most definitely.
Especially when you get people from all different types of culture, you could have so many different varieties of food. You'll never run out of food to eat because you can get people that originally, you know, where I live, Louisiana, and cook like Cajun food and stuff like that. Or you can have, you know, just people from all over the place, like that know how to cook different varieties of food. Nobody would ever get bored of or you know, burned out on food.
Now you just make my mouth water.
Yeah, seriously, me too. Yeah, I heard about this apartment kind of living, condo living. I don't know what it is in Scandinavia. I forget which country. It's Norway, Sweden, one of those. What they have is, imagine this: you've got 30 different residents. Now, some of them are families, some of them are individuals, but you got 30 different residents, 30 different units at this one. Let's say, call it a apartment complex, call it whatever. It would be the same as if you were to be on these, these properties that we were just talking about with multiple tiny homes, you know, movable, towable homes. Same idea. You have 30 units, 30 families, and only, okay, one family will cook dinner one time per month. Only they multiply the ingredients to cook for the entire what you might call a commune. I don't know if there's, I would hope there's a better word for it. Commune kind of has kind of a negative connotation maybe. But anyway, one family cooks for the entire commune one day. What that means is that if you live in this commune, basically you only plan one dinner per month. Every other night, you're gonna just come to the mess hall, the kitchen, the dining, the community dining area, and you get to sit and have dinner with all of the people from the community. You know, break bread, so to speak, with all the different people in the community every night. And if you want to, and it's not your cup of tea, you know, you don't have to eat dinner with everybody. You could go out and get a Subway sandwich or whatever floats your boat. If it's maybe you're too averse like spices and it's too spicy for you, that's fine. You always have an option, but it's always going to be there for you. And all you have to do, the great thing is that the only dinner you have to plan is just one a month. And that, I think, is one of the biggest decisions every family in America has to make, is what are we going to make for dinner? So I think it's a great way, and I want to see that happen here.
It's also a great learning tool because how many families actually cook nowadays? Most of them eat out, you know, eat fast food, or they go to a restaurant. My parents argue on the daily, what we eating? I don't know. What do you want? I don't know. And then they just like have a big argument about it. It's like, what is the point of arguing? Just go somewhere or cook. If you don't want to argue, just cook.
Andrew, I wanted to go back to something you said earlier. You were talking about people, if everybody lived and grew their own food. Have you seen the documentary called Cowspiracy? It addresses that issue, and they basically said that if everybody in the entire world grew their own food, we wouldn't even have enough space to do it. Isn't that crazy?
It's true though.
You could technically do it though, because now, like, I see a lot of people grow stuff. They take some wood pieces and build a box out of it, and then they plant just enough for them. And then when the soil gets all like all the minerals from the soil and stuff get like all drained and stuff, you can just restart. It's actually nice.
Hello, I'm Eturu. I'm new to the channel yesterday. We grow our own food, and we have small area and plenty for everybody. But meat, if you raise meat, it is a lot of space, and sometimes how you say, animal is sick, not good.
Yeah, I agree. Raising animals is like cows or stuff like that, because we've had plenty of cows before, and that's really hard to do, and it takes up a lot of space, and I don't really see it practical doing anymore. I just rather go vegetarian for that reason, just to not have to raise cattle or whatever.
Now I'm from Alabama. We can't go without our steak down here, so that wasn't too much work with me.
Well, I mean, you still have chicken. I don't think they take up as much space as cattle do. Or you could have seafood. Seafood doesn't take up much space. That's pretty much what we eat here is seafood. I'm from Louisiana, for the people that don't know. We eat seafood a lot here, mainly catfish.
It's a mixture between seafood and cattle and chicken, but I prefer steak over any of it. That's just me though.
Right. Everybody has their preference. See, I used to eat, chicken so much when I was younger, because we got Popeyes here, and I just got so tired of chicken for a long time. So I went to beef, and then I wasn't able to really digest it properly. So I just went back to chicken, and I actually started acquiring a taste for eating seafood a lot recently. So you got your options.
Oh, y'all got some bomb crawfish. I ain't even gonna. Ooh, that makes me hungry.
Yeah, I'm going to flip back real quick to this, to the TV. I had mentioned something about TV. I found a quote, actually. Forgot I had found this. It's by Christiane Amanpour. I think she's like a CNN journalist or something. I'm not sure. I've heard of her name before. She says, "And I believe that good journalism, good television, can make our world a better place." So I think, which she already knew, that like if you do better, if you televise, good things happening, and you have good things on TV, that'll make the world a better place. So obviously she's seeing something there too.
To be honest with you, I don't watch TV anymore because it's too negative. I can't stand watching the news because it's always negative stuff.
Every time I turn the damn power button on, somebody's dead or somebody's been shot up or something's been bombed. It's always a negative message, and I really am grown tired of it.
The irony is, they think that we want to see that. They think that we want to see killings and shootings and chases, and like I see it as this, like, whenever the news is on, I'm like walking out. I'm walking to another room. Like if someone else is watching the news, I'm just not watching it with them. Like it's my time to walk away. You know, I mean, unless the violence, unless the crime, unless they televise it in order for us to see the perpetrator and help bring bring justice, and maybe identify them, then I see no point whatsoever for them to show us anything negative on TV. There's a shit ton of positive things going on, and the more they show negative, it's just taking everybody down a spiral. Like it's just not good. We're all gonna think, hopeless thoughts, and make hopeless based choices. Are you going to make a positive choice when you're hopeful? I mean, are you going to make a positive choice when you're hopeless? No, you're going to make a positive choice when you're hopeful. You're going to make a positive choice that supports you being a better person, or eating healthy, or whatever it might be, when you're hopeful, not when you're hopeless and it seems like shit freaking world's going to end. Come on. And I don't get how they could think that we want to see that. It's weird.
That's like the news I heard about the internet earlier. It kind of like really upset me, because, and I don't really do politics. I don't really care for politics. If people from the South, they don't like politicians at all. So we don't like politics. But I was so mad about that. And I just watched a documentary of this band from Canada. They were filming, a thing for a new album they're doing, and dudes were super positive, and it just made me like, wow, I want to pick up my guitar now and actually write something. Like these people just like completely inspired me to pick up my guitar and actually do something just by them being super positive. I'm like, that's amazing.
For work, I do statistics and study American justice. We have in America now less bad crime than past, but now we also have internet, and it shows more in less time. So now it looks bad here, but in past it was way more bad, but we just don't see it.
Turu, I want to help you out here. I don't know if anybody else notices this, but I think your volume is coming through a little low. Your microphone is a little low. Your voice sounds low. So you might want to either get your microphone closer to your face, to your mouth, or maybe up your microphone gain in the app. In the meantime, I just want to mention the quote about smiles. And this one's by Robert Allen. I found it. It says, "Sometimes just a smile on our face can help to make this world a better place."
I smile all the time. If anybody sees me in public, even just like looking at someone, I always put on a smile, just walking past someone, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? Just that one little thing can lighten up somebody's day, and it's not that it's forced. That's just who I am. I'm one of those people that really care about people. So if I can lighten up people's day just by saying hi to them and ask them how they're doing, and smile to them, that's all I care about, really.
Yeah, the huge factor there is you don't realize how much of a ripple you might have started, because that person might have had a bad morning or whatever, and all of a sudden now they're feeling a little more hopeful, and maybe the next person they see, they'll smile and carry that forward, and it becomes like a ripple of love. I mean, really, straight up, it's just love. It's just going, you don't know how far that could go. And so never think that, we can all, just never think that your smile doesn't have significance. You know, you don't know how far that's going to go.
Another example could be like I work at a hospital, and like when you put a smile on your face, the kids know like everything's gonna be okay. You know, it shows that you care about them, and if something goes wrong, you're there to help them out.
Look at the man of positivity. Great timing, Roman. How's it going?
Hey, Roman, how you doing, brother? It's good to have you here, man. Very good timing.
You know, I can't miss your show any day, man. I was in your show last week. I just couldn't talk because I was at work. But I'm here now. Hello, everyone. Andrew, continue.
So yeah, guys, what else can you think of that that might be wrong with the world that you know how where we can come up with some solutions on how to make it better? Anything that's going on in your life, in your world, everybody has a different perception of the world and how things are. So, you know, maybe we can come up with some solutions.
Honestly, the only thing I can really say is be there for your community, guys. I mean, when something tragic happens, like, for example, we just got flooded here. I mean, and you know what? There's actually multiple different groups of people that get together, and they're like, listen, we need supplies for these people that lost their homes and stuff like that. We need to be there for them. So what they do is they start up, you know, these, you know, donation things and pass it out to the people that really need it. I think just people need to be there more for their communities and stop really giving a cold shoulder. You have people that play video games all the way to people that, you know, all they do is work for a living, just donating stuff. And I mean, it's not just that. You just helping other people in need out can go a long way.
I agree, man. It's this whole idea of not being selfish, you know, giving of your resources, your time, your finances, your resources, you know. Especially when you're not working. One thing you got plenty of is time.
I'll give you an example. You know, while the media took a whole week or two before they actually started saying, oh, well, Louisiana's flooded, it took them almost 2 weeks to even announce that to everybody else, or for the president to even really take notice, while our communities were pretty much just nonstop trying to help everybody in need. I think that shows a lot about the communities we have here. Yeah, we might hate each other at times, and you know, we fight a lot with each other, you know, and we have a lot of, you know, racial groups or whatever it may be, but we're able to look past that in order to help others out. And I think that says a lot about where I live, I guess.
I feel like it's sad that it takes a disaster to bring people together like that, you know. I feel like there needs to be something more. Like someone said before, instead of a two-party system, it should be a one-party system trying to make the world a better place. So it's like we're all in it to do something else. Instead of fight against each other, we're all coming together to do one thing, which would be to make the world a better place, whatever. So yeah, it's sad that it takes a disaster.
Well, I'll give you a positive or you know, getting people together. Okay, like yeah, that was a negative making a positive, but this is a positive making a positive, right? Okay, so you know, back in July, Niantic released a game called Pokemon Go. I'm sure everybody's heard of it and is tired of hearing about it at this point, but it actually got a lot of groups together here in Louisiana, and a majority of them are doing donations for, you know, the flooding that just happened recently. They've been going to adoption clinics for animals and helping out there, or they've been walking the dogs and whatever, taking care of, you know, the pets that are there. Just people raising money for people that need it. Like, you need like a good community like that, something that's a positive that turns into an even more positive thing, you know?
So like Pokemon that brings people to positive places. That would be dope. Like you have a Pokemon to find in every, like, I don't know, nonprofit center in the city, or, you know, stuff like that. Adoption clinic for a pet, or kids for that matter. You know, just even just to get there, find your Pokemon, and then notice that, oh, this Pokemon was at an adoption clinic for pets. Oh, maybe I need a pet. Oh, look at this. They're having a, I don't know, some kind of a discount on the shots or something like this. You know, that kind of thing I think would be super positive.
The world would be a better place if everybody was an Alabama Crimson Tide fan.
LOL, sexiest. I needed that, man. Thanks.
That was funny. No, I'll give you another positive that the game has sparked. Yeah, there's been a lot of negative things in the media, but that's all they want you to hear is the negative side of things. But here where I live, they actually over in New Orleans, matter of fact, a lot of people were getting together and trying to get people to donate some phones so that the children at the children's hospitals can actually play the game. Also, they had it set up where if the hospitals was a Pokestop, which is basically a location in the game where people can put lures on them to attract Pokemon to that specific place, also stock up on items. They were actually putting lures on the Pokestops for the children to have the Pokemon to come to them for, you know, the ones that obviously can't get out of the bed or whatever. They had them coming to them so that they could actually play the game. And it's actually done a lot of positive things in the hospitals because now the kids are actually wanting to leave their rooms and interact with the other children in the hospital and stuff like that. So it is a positive thing. And I think if we could have more apps or more things that people are interested in to bring more people together, I think that's what we need a lot of. People just don't really have people don't really hang out anymore, and I think it's because either we have to work for a living and we don't get home till late, or whatever it may be, or maybe.
All right, guys, maybe we can round this one out. Lightning round, so to speak. Anything you can think of that is positive in the world, you know, because that is how we make the world a better place. Is to duplicate, replicate what already works and people are already doing that work. So anything positive you can think of that you've seen on the news or whatever, just rattle it off as it comes to mind. And we'll round this out pretty strong, hopefully.
If the world had a lot less bullying and a lot less helping in it, it would be a completely different place.
Yeah, and how about negativity and casting judgment? People should take a look in the mirror, consider how others would feel, how they'd feel, treat others how they would want to be treated. There's a message to the trolls especially. coming into channels and telling people some terrible things. Doesn't hurt me, but they're certainly not going to win any friends that way. They're not going to get trusted in the channel. And they think that they're disturbing the open channel, that we have this trust feature. We had an untrusted user keying up 4 times just during this one transmission. It's probably the same one. Yeah. Oh, Roman's talking to him. No, he's wasting his time, but that's a person who casts judgment. But anyway, yeah, there's some lessons. Just be a little kinder. Perform random acts of kindness to make the world a better place.
Yeah, what she said. Basically, if someone says something really negative to you, you just counter back with a positive. Be like, they say something ugly to you, you just say, I love you too. And then you just go about your business. That's one thing they cannot stand. Other words, kill them with kindness, guys. Kill them with kindness.
Another thing too is there's an old saying. It takes a friend to be a friend. If we had that, it would be so much better, and people would realize what it means to actually have feelings. Some people nowadays don't consider other people's feelings. I don't understand why is that.
I think it has a lot to do to us being exposed to too much stuff just over the internet and television. There's a lot of negative. So like he was saying earlier, too much negative makes people, hopeless, and they just think that that's how they have to be to get by every day. But yeah, I think people are just afraid to be nice, and they're afraid they're going to be judged for it. And it has a lot to us being desensitized to things.
Samurai saying is draw from positive energy, makes head stronger. Use negative, makes head weak.
Good evening, Ring of Fire. How's everybody doing? And yeah, negativity breeds contention, and contention, vice versa, will also breed negativity. And that, but stay positive through everything and make friends easy, and be a friend, and you'll always have them.
Hi, Tony. Yeah, Josh, I'm sure there's something to that. Kill them with kindness. I understand a lot of these bullies and trolls and stuff. They've been mistreated and bullied themselves. So that's all they know. Just to not be cool to people. So, I guess you can't expect them to just turn around and change their ways. Maybe they need to experience some kindness themselves first. But yeah, ask my mods. I'll tell you. I'm going to go on my mods and key up here and tell our users what we often say to people that are trolls here. Like, this channel isn't right for you. And then ... before we block them. And we do have to block them. Maybe that's a slam in the door slammed in their face. Maybe it might be rude, but we're not saying anything rude. We're just ejecting them from a room that's not right for them. But yeah, what's that thing we say to them rather than telling them also to F off or something?
Do you tell them that you love them and that you hope they find the right place for them?
Not exactly. I'll let Andrew or Roman or someone answer this.
I don't know. Sorry, it's not coming to mind right now. I thought of something else. This idea of giving what you want. If you want money, give money. If you want to be heard, listen. In fact, and that's another one I was going to mention is listen more, talk less.
Oh, crap. You don't remember the training? How about you, Roman? Do you know?
Get in here really quick because I can't seem to keep up. But this all goes back to the law of attraction. I mean, if you exert positive energy and you you know, you live it every single day in your heart, you're gonna attract the right people. And yeah, there's always gonna be those trolls around, but you know, if you make a conscious effort to do that every day in your life, you're gonna attract the right people in your life. And then
Oh no, I didn't mean to take the button. I'm sorry, Molly. Okay, well, let me just say it while I have the mic. It's have a nice day. That's what we say. A lot of my mods remember that anyway.
that's all right. Mike, the quote I had for you guys was to seek to understand before you seek to be understood.
Totally spot on. It totally goes along with that whole idea of giving what I was mentioning about giving what you want, you know. Whatever it is that you want in the world, you have to give that to receive that. If you want more love, you got to give more love. If you want more success, you got to help others be successful. Just think about anything you could possibly want, and know that that's what you've got to do for others, essentially.
Everything goes back to the ripple effect. If you help somebody who really needs it at a time, you know, whether it be emotional, physical, or just giving them motivation to move on in life, they'll remember that, and they'll remember that when you're in need, and they'll help you out when you need it, and then it just sparks, you know, like this big chain reaction, and that's how, you know, positivity, how far it can really go. It can go for a long way, you know.
Yeah, no, some great stuff here. And it's too bad that the trolls don't stick around to hear some of this stuff. They can learn some things rather than sitting around casting judgment on us and calling us Jesus freaks and stuff. And maybe there are some people in here that are Jesus freaks, or, you know, at least believe in him or love Jesus. But, you know, love is there, you know, regardless of what our belief systems are. There's many different belief systems here. But these people only want to be heard. They don't want to listen. They don't really want to use their ears. You know, everything they hear, they want to turn it around into a negative. They don't want to absorb it into their soul and use it in a positive.
Did someone mention Jesus a while ago? I didn't even hear anybody bring that up. Anyways, doesn't matter. I don't care what religion you are. It's about who you are as a person that matters to me.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And no, you don't hear the untrusted users. I was mentioning an untrusted user, and Roman had to prohibit him from talking because he was just being negative and stuff. But yeah, I mean, he didn't stick around, and this is a person who, like all these trolls, could really use some love in their lives. They need that example. I think a lot of them just have nothing but negativity in their life, and that's all they know how to project as a result.
Yeah, sorry, that was me. I always do that. If I hear someone talking and I'm trusted and they're talking smack and they're obviously being disrespectful, I just mute them, you know, so that they're forced to listen. You know, if you can't mindfully listen to others, like absorb some goodness in your life, then I'm sorry, I'm gonna mute you. I just, that's my MO, you know, at least when I'm doing the program. Otherwise I'd give them a little bit more of a chance, you know. But like, if they're just gonna come in and straight judge and just straight like talk and not even be paying attention, and their MO is just to talk over, it's not cool. It's disrespectful. They should get the same in return. They started it. It's not like we started it. So anyway, hopefully that's okay. That was me.
He started it. No. I think something that could be actually helped, instead of blaming people for the negative things in your life, actually look at it as a positive, because you can learn from your mistakes in life. everything can, well, not everything. I mean, there's some things out of your realm of changing, but there is some things in your life that you have control over. And I think if you look at it as a positive and learn from that mistake, I think a lot of people would think a lot differently right now.
Hey, since we're talking about learning from our mistakes, how come I still have yet to learn not to lend money to assholes? And sorry for the French, but yeah.
Oh, don't you love it when you loan money to somebody? They say they're going to pay you back on X amount of date, a week or two has passed. So you have to remind them or bug them or whatever. And then they turn it around like you're the asshole.
This is a good quote. I don't know who wrote this, but it says, it's about forgiveness. It says, to forgive is to let go of pain. To not forgive someone is like choosing to stay trapped in a jail cell of bitterness, serving time for someone else's crime. So yeah, this was all about, world would be a better place if we learned to forgive others, to let ourselves free. And also, obviously, you can forgive yourself. I mean, nobody's perfect in this world. No one's going to get out of this life with a perfect record. So damn it, just forgive yourself. Move on,
I think everybody just needs hugs. We should just go around and hug everybody. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. You might get smacked in the face. But no, I was just gonna say, you said lending out money. Well, maybe they were desperate or they knew they could take advantage of somebody, and don't feel bad about it, even if they never give you that money back, because money really doesn't have a place in society. It can always be useless tomorrow, like money is really not what counts. What really counts is that, even if they come back to you later and they say, sorry, I can't give you the money back, just forgive them. You'd be better off pretending you never even gave them the money.
Well, it counts when it's the beginning of the month. Someone asks for money. They say they can give it back to you by the end of the month. And you're putting their needs first. And you're like, okay, well, I need this back by the end of the month because this is my rent money. And then they blow you off. Then I think in that case, it does matter. Then you're in a bind. And then you might have to go ask somebody else.
Well, in that circumstance, yeah, maybe if, like in that circumstance, if it's going to put you in a bind later on, maybe you shouldn't just lend it. And some people, I know I have this problem too. It's kind of hard to say no, but no is not necessarily a negative thing, it could be looked at as a positive, because if you tell someone no, then that's just going to encourage them to go get money up in a positive way,
Instead of a handout, they're actually going to do more work. So by lending them money, you're kind of empowering them maybe to slack. I get that. Very good point. Lightning round. I don't know. I'm gonna keep going with this. See how far this goes. A couple of the ones that I found were volunteer, and we didn't really mention much about that. Drive less, meaning be more mindful about where you drive outside of work. Batch your driving. Use less oil, less oil dependency. Blah blah blah. Oil companies less likely to continue doing what they're doing if we don't have as much of a demand for oil. Conserve water or donate to clean water charities. In other parts of the world, they have shitty water, and they don't have any money for these simple, fairly simple filtration systems. So maybe donate to a clean water charity. We talked about being generous with time, finances, and resources. Acknowledging homelessness and homeless people. I work with a guy who said it was most important. He worked with homeless people, and he served homeless people essentially. He says the most important thing is to acknowledge them, their existence. Say hello. Yeah, you may get into a bit of a conversation, but that's your call with how you navigate that. But just be good to them. There was donate blood, donate bone marrow, donate clothing, foster an animal, foster a person. Adopt a person, a kid from this country. I talked about that versus another. Get involved in local politics maybe to help change your community positively. Spread the word about causes in your community. Donate something to help raise funds for a cause. Maybe you can donate something to them that would help them, like a car, an old car or something. I think we talked about kindness, mindfulness. The one thing that I do is I offer free hugs. Ironically, you had mentioned hugs. I do it, I do that at least once a month. In a public place, just go and do it with some people, some friends. If you can, grab them, do it. It's positive. And then just a few others. Change to a meatless diet or buy organic, and then make your purchases support your values. So, if your values are that you don't want animals to suffer or whatever, or you want cows to be treated better, maybe just either buying grass-fed beef or just not buying meat at all. Switch to a diet and it's totally possible, by the way, switch to a diet that is meat free completely, or meat at least less. I used to eat like 2 In-N-Out burgers, 2 or 3 a week, and I didn't need to, Anyway, those are mine for now. Those are from the ones that I found earlier. Carry on if you have any thoughts. Who cares? If we can keep going with this, let's just go with this.
Something I want to say about the diet. For the people that don't know, you can go to your local grocery store, or local Walmart or whatever. Most of them carry it. There is I think I can't think of the name of it right now. Anyways, it's vegetarian meat, and from what a lot of people say, it tastes just like meat. It's going to be in your frozen aisle section, and you actually come out better, healthier wise, and financially wise, due to meat going up in price here recently. So you'll actually be saving some money and eating healthier. I think that's a positive. And it tastes pretty much the same as meat from what a lot of people say. So also, I want to say a quote real quick. This is about believing in yourself and not the negative stuff people say to you. So the quote is, "Why should we worry about what others think of us? Do we have more confidence in their opinions than we do our own?" So guys, be more self-confident in yourself. Don't let others bring you down. Just be positive, and you can do anything.
Well said. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people on this app complaining about what somebody said to them, the insults, and